Hello! One common question that I get asked quite a lot is where to find a decent piercer. Obviously I can only talk about ones local to me because honestly I have no idea where you are or what piercers are around you. But there are definitely key things to look out for when looking for a new piercer. The easiest thing to do is go to a friend or someone you know that has piercings and ask them where they got theirs done. This is usually the best case scenario, but a lot of the time there are no people that you know that are pierced, or people have gone to miles away to get pierced, or it may be the case that this person has just had a great experience at this piercing place and most people have not. The chances of that being rather slim. It's still possible. One of the first things that you need to do is do your research before you go. Obviously the best way of doing this is to jump online, have a look at their website and see what reviews they might have on Facebook or Google or whatever, and make a decision based on that. If you don't know many places in the place that you're trying to get pierced, say you've just moved or you're on holiday or something like that and you want to get pierced, my suggestion would be to go up to the nearest pierced person and ask them. Usually these people are more than happy to give advice and they will point you in the best direction. My suggestion is that if you do want to get a piercing, do your research into that specific piercing that you want. Find out the process of what needs to be done before and during the piercing, the aftercare, and how long it takes to heal. It's probably not the best idea to just get pierced on a whim. If you're not sure what piercing you want, that's not completely uncommon. You can always go to a piercer and ask them anatomically what would best be suited on you. Of course, with more unusual piercings, you're going to want to check with your job or school or similar to find out whether they'll be okay with you getting a piercing. When I got my first piercing done, I was working at a claims phone line and they were pretty strict with piercings actually. I think my first piercing was my nostril. They said that I could have it in, but if anybody was to come around, like senior management, I would have to take it out. Going along with the whole getting pierced on a whim, do not get pierced at a festival. I'm talking from experience, and of course you're going to work this out for yourself if you ever do this, and don't listen to me. I didn't really have that much knowledge in piercings at the time, and getting pierced in the middle of summer on a really hot day where there's a lot of dust floating about was not the best idea. That did not heal up particularly well. I was very lucky in the fact that I kept the jewellery in, and then after the festival I was able to clean it enough for it to stay. Then again, my body heals up really quickly and very unusually well. So you found your shop that you want to get pierced at. You found your perfect piercer and you walk into the shop. Everything should be comfortable and not intimidating, not weird looking. You shouldn't get any strange vibes from the place. If you do, turn around and walk out. You want to be on the same level as your piercer mentally, not physically. I don't know, the reception desk might be about a step up. You want to feel comfortable as soon as you walk in. You want to be greeted with a smile, not hanging around ages waiting in a waiting room, wondering what's going on, and you want to be offered a coffee. Well, I don't know really. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. That was not meant to rhyme. Finding a tattoo artist and finding a piercer are extremely different, but they do have one thing in common. You must not go for the cheapest option. If you do, then you will regret it. Obviously, some bad piercers are going to charge you a higher rate as well, so don't always go on price. There are a few things that you need to look out for when you enter the studio and the piercing room itself. Always make sure that it looks clean and sterile. Obviously, make sure that the artist is using gloves. Yes, they are artists because piercing is most definitely an art. Make sure that the needle is clean and unopened when you get there, because you want to make sure that it hasn't been used on someone else. These needles dull very quickly, and also spreading of diseases, or I don't know, I wouldn't want to get pierced with a needle that's covered in someone else's blood, would you? And of course, this should not be a worry, but if you do see a piercing gun in the studio, run the out of there, because it is not gonna end well. Get the piercer to run through exactly what the process will be. Make sure that they look confident and make you feel confident that they know what they're doing. If you feel uneasy at any time, do not worry about asking them to maybe just sit for a while. But if it's the whole experience that's deterring you, just walk out the studio and make your apologies. Do not feel that you have to get that piercing that day at that time. You've not signed any contract or anything like that. You can just walk away. If this is your first piercing or you're a little inexperienced with changing the jewellery, make sure that you go back to the piercer to get the jewellery changed. Obviously the initial jewellery they're going to put in is going to be big enough to allow for the swelling and the healing process, but after this you're going to need smaller jewellery in that hole, and if you're not confident enough to change it yourself, that's no problem. There's nothing to worry about there. These guys are professionals and they know how to do it. Plus getting those balls off those bars or those balls off the closure ball rings can be a nightmare. Of course, if you're experienced and you're happy to do it yourself, just do it at home, but just again, make sure the jewellery is clean and make sure your surrounding area is clean as well. And don't drop any balls down the sink. That is a pain in the arse. These are just a few of the rules that I stand by. I'm sure there's probably lots of other tips that people will give you. If you've got tips for the people watching at home, pop a comment down below. If you think I've missed anything, again, chuck it down below. And if you think I've got anything wrong, then there's the door. No, honestly, just pop it down below, and I apologise in advance if there is anything that I got wrong, but these are the things that I'm more worried about when I enter a piercing studio. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.